I'm ready for my time to shine.
Yeah, you are. Oh my God. We're doing it. All right. Hey guys, this is the second episode of Petrol Llama. Today's guest is one of my closest friends from middle school and high school. Her name is Jessica Ayers, in my mind. And also, I'm going to need you to pronounce your last name because it's hard.
It's so many letters.
Okay, go ahead. What is it?
Schmalready.
Schmalready. Okay, well, that's like easy to remember though.
Just think of already, but schmalready.
I'm schmalready there, girl.
When my husband and I got married, we got married by ourselves first, had a wedding later, and the hashtag that the people that came to my wedding selected was schmalready married.
Oh my God, that's perfect.
I know.
Oh my gosh.
That's my life.
You had the dreamiest wedding too, because I still have not been to Marfa and I want to go so bad.
Yes.
So bad.
At some point you must. It's a fantastic place with cool, weird people.
Oh, that's my favorite. That's why I live in California. Okay. So tell us how many people live in your house right now, including animals and humans.
Okay. Currently it is myself, my husband Mason. We have a 3-year-old, freshly 3, daughter named Sophie, and a dog named Paisley. That's it.
Oh, and Sophie is so adorable.
Thank you.
You guys look like you're in that like very love stage of mother-daughter where she's like, let me play with your hair and do your makeup and like all of this kind of stuff. And she still thinks you're cool.
We're deep into that right now. That I know will be changing sometime, probably, I would guess like middle school, junior high, high school. It's going to take a sharp turn. And because I experienced high school, middle school, and junior high in a certain way, I know what's going on. I've been there. I probably did it way harder than you are. Don't at me, girl. That's what's going to happen.
I know, but like, I feel like we think we know that, but then just looking at TikTok, I'm like, I don't know, guys.
What's TikTok?
I was like, okay, you may not be.
You're not going to know shit. Okay, great.
Should Google. No, I don't know. The teens worry me.
Hell yeah. I'm truly, I don't have fear about many things, but when I think about my daughter becoming a teenager and whatever the world's going to look like at that point, I'm scared shitless.
Yeah.
Are you going to have sex at the age of 9? When do I have that talk with you? I don't know. I wasn't planning to for a while, but.
Well, maybe next time you guys are playing Barbie, you should just like intro stuff, like, oh my God, they think that looks like a nice friend. Oh, what are they doing? Are they kissing?
So I'll share this with you. I don't know who let me be a parent, by the way, but I am one. And
the Lord Jesus Christ.
Our Lord and Savior.
Our Lord and Savior.
Yeah. So Sophie's potty trained, but she doesn't like to go by herself, right? So you got to go in there, game face on, put her on the potty. She needs to go. And she has me sitting directly in front of her per usual. And I'm just sitting there waiting. And she looks down and she starts kind of exploring a little bit, like what's going on in between. And she is, Mama, what's this? I'm like, well, that's your vagina. I don't know. I'm not good at like the cutesy general names. It is what it is. It's a vagina.
Well, also you're a nurse.
That maybe that's part of it. But then she gets like a little deeper, right? And she's like, well, what's this? It's a baby? And I'm like, oh, that's not a baby. And she's like, it's a baby vagina? And I'm like, no, it's not a baby vagina. Like, she's pointing and now touching her clitoris. And so she's like, no, but what's this? I'm like doing this too. And I'm like, that is your clitoris. My husband walks by right at that time behind us. And he goes, what? We're there already? And she looked at him and she goes, Daddy, it's okay. It's just a ritorous. Who let me be a parent?
Sophie,
I have questions.
Sophie is changing the world. We love her. Oh my God. I mean, well, what else are you supposed to say rather than exactly what it is? Because if you get weird, then she's going to be weird about her sexuality later and be like, oh, we don't talk about that. We don't have names for it. We don't do any of it.
You call it what it, in my opinion, and everybody's got really big opinions on this, I've learned. There's so much weird stigma, especially around a woman's genitalia. Like there is, I've been told about anatomy books like for kids to teach them. I have not found a single anatomy book that identifies the clitoris. Like they will identify all the other parts of a woman's vulva, vagina, the labia, everything will be labeled. And the clitoris is just this like mystery piece that you're just supposed to like see the little bump drawing for, but there's no name on it.
Shut up.
It's really strange and but also makes a lot of sense. Like it's not something that was ever talked to me about when I was growing up.
Oh no.
What is it for?
Sweet Loretta gave me a sex talk at 21.
Oh. Loretta, come on, girl.
Loretta, where were you? Keep in mind, I got married at 22. And she started off the conversation with, well, I know what it's like when passions are high.
Passions are high. Okay.
Yahtzee.
All right.
When did you get the sex talk?
Okay. So here's my memory of sex talk. First memory, and it's a little spacey, but the first memory was we were in, I don't remember if it was middle school or junior high, but Coach Hall, that's the name I remember. Coach Hall. I remember Coach Hall. So I think it must have been junior high, but we're in the health class or that portion where they teach you about like your body and what's going on, and they separate the boys and the girls.
Yeah.
And we watch this weird video and this girl gets her period and like everybody freaks out. After the video, there's a Q&A and Coach Hall is the one that's answering the questions. And some girl in our class, who I don't know who it was, asked, why is there pubic hair? Why is that there? And Coach Hall's response to her was because it feels good. Like when you're with another person, the touching of the pubic hair. So that was the first thing that I remember learning as far as like pleasure associated with sex. And I just remember thinking like, maybe, I'm very confused. The next memory I have about the sex talk was I was 17 and I had a boyfriend. My parents didn't know about him. He was not in high school. I don't know if he actually graduated or not, but he was old enough to not be in high school.
Yeah.
He was in high school with us at some point.
You went to a high school.
Correct. Yeah. So he at that point, I think was maybe 19. I lost my virginity to him on Super Bowl Sunday during halftime at a friend's house who was also not in high school. Don't know if he graduated, in the spare bedroom, ribbed condom, because obviously that's what a virgin needs is a ribbed condom. The condom ripped. It lasted like all of like 5 seconds first time.
Yeah, that's actually a long time.
Yeah. So of course now I'm pregnant. I already know it.
Yeah.
Like I have to be pregnant. This is how it happens. I take a pregnancy test all of like 2 days later. I'm working at Sonic at the time.
This is the most pregnancy test story I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah. Just it gets worse. Take my pregnancy test. Oh, I'm going to throw it in my bathroom trash can, take the trash out with me on my way to Sonic.
Okay.
And throw it away in their dumpster, obviously. But I'm a teenager and I don't think about this shit like halfway through, these half-baked ideas. And so I leave my house and forget the trash in the trash can. I come home from my work day at Sonic and my mom is sitting there and she has no idea at this point. She's like, hey, babe, your dad's in the garage. He wants to talk to you. And I'm like, oh, okay. So I like march in there, wearing my Sonic uniform, red visor, smell like fried food.
Ready to protect and serve.
My dad is standing in our garage. Our washer and dryer were in the garage. and he has the pregnancy test sitting on top of the dryer, a beer in one hand, a natural light, mind you, a natty light,
Yeah.
a cigarette in the other hand. And he looks at me, and he didn't say the word fuck much growing up, but he looks at me and goes, what the fuck is this? And it was probably one of the very first times in my life that I ever realized, oh, like, I'm not going to talk my way out of this one. Whatever skill sets I have, doesn't matter. Just be honest. And I just had this like out of body, well, that's a pregnancy test. And he was like, why is it in my house? I'm like, yeah, because I took it. And he's like, well, and I'm like, well, it's negative. Go to your room. So I go to my room and I'm like, fuck around. This is real life right now. I don't know what's about to happen. Maybe it's over. Maybe this is how it ends. They call me back out to the dining room table, as my parents often did, a table that you have spent some time at. And they sit me down in my spot, and my mom's, red blotchy face and teary eyes, how many people are you having sex with? And I'm like, and one, and my dad's like, we need to meet him.
Oh.
So I had to invite him over to our house. He had to meet my parents. We ate wings and more.
Nice.
Obviously, his jacked up truck leaked gas or oil all over my dad's driveway. There's still a stain on that driveway at that house. Yeah.
Oh my God.
That's the extent of like my memory about learning about like the parameters of sex from my parents.
Did this dude know he was coming over under the pretense of my parents know we fucked?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
How did you get him to come over?
I guess he wanted more of this.
Okay. Makes a lot of sense, actually.
Yeah, obviously. I have no idea. I don't know why. I would never have gone if somebody had been like, hey, by the way, remember when you took my virginity? My parents know, they're pissed. I need you to come to dinner. Like, that's where I step out.
Yeah, I'd be like, you know what? I think it was great that we met. Everyone needs a first. Thanks for your time.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God, what a brave bear. That's incredible. Speaking of your parents' table, I remember having one of my most embarrassing moments of all time at that table.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I was like huge fan of Saturday Night Live at the time. Huge Will Ferrell fan. And I thought it would be really funny to just like repeat those jokes all the time. And so I'm like sitting there talking to your parents, and I was trying to explain this Saturday Night Live skit, and I was like, I drive a Dodge Stratus. And I like said it about 24 times before your dad just looks at me and he was like, I do drive a Dodge Stratus. And I was like, oh, okay. Okay. Jessica,
Cool.
can we go to your room?
This area. I need immediate space.
Shame. So much shame. I was like, oh God. Yeah.
And just clarify, my dad was the dad that somebody called him dude once, and he came to me and he said, tell that friend of yours, don't ever call me dude. It's sir. So my dad, he has about 3 faces. They all look about the same to the untrained eye.
Yeah.
They're all pretty like.
He's got a smirk.
He does. He's one of my favorite people, but yeah, he's not somebody you want to mess with.
No. No. I don't ever remember being like scared of him, but I remember like, oh, we're going to zip it up for a minute. But I loved going over to your house.
Really?
Yeah, it was so fun. I always remember that picture that you guys had up, and it was like both of the weddings so kind of explain the background of that, because I feel like this is a really interesting story.
Tell me, which do you mean, like my dad's brother and my mom's sister?
Yeah.
Okay. So my dad's brother married my mom's sister. So it's two brothers, two biologically related brothers, married a separate set of biologically related sisters. We are in Texas. This is not Arkansas. No offense to Arkansas, Kansas or your Kansas. So yes, so
Who
there
got
we were.
married first?
My dad's brother and my mom's sister were married first.
Okay.
And my parents met obviously through them. My mom is not my biological mom. My dad, well, I'll give you the quick story. Do you want the short version? My dad grew up in a super small town in East Texas, Northeast Texas, graduated high school, moved to Dallas with a bunch of buddies. They worked on drill rigs, so they were gone for 2 weeks at a time, made good money, came back to Dallas, big city, went to a gentleman's club of sorts,
Cute.
sorted. And a few months later, one of the dancers showed up at my dad's door. Hi, I'm pregnant. And he married her. I showed up and she wasn't ready to be a mom. She just wasn't. She kept partying a lot. He was gone again for 2 weeks at a time. And so unfortunately, and probably more fortunately, the early, like formative part of the first 18 months of my life, I don't remember any of it, thank goodness. But there was definitely, I would imagine, times where I was alone. She was out partying, doing whatever she wanted to do. They ended up divorcing when I was about 18 months old. She didn't show up to the custody hearing and just never came back. My dad knew who I call mom through his brother and sister-in-law, and they started dating, I don't know, when I was probably 3, and got married when I was 5, and yeah.
Oh my God. This explains why you're such a good dancer.
Thanks. Girl, genetics.
Oh God. I never knew that story.
Really?
Like I knew that your mom wasn't your birth mom, right? But I didn't know the whole backstory of the strip club.
It's
Freaking
messy. It's messy, girl. I mean,
for heirs.
yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
Okay, so you're a nurse.
I'm a nurse.
Tell us more about that, you freaking essential worker. First of all, thank you.
You're very welcome. I became a nurse. Let me start this. I went to nursing school the year that my mom died. So she died, it's been 7 years ago now. So I've been a nurse for 7 years.
Really?
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
That is crazy.
Bananas. I know.
Did you, was it like she died and you were like, I want to be a nurse? Did any of those things have anything to do with each other, or it just happened to be that year?
So the reason I became a nurse, I'll start there, is earlier in my 20s, my early 20s, my mom needed a kidney transplant. And this is unrelated to her death.
Okay.
When she was a child, she had strep throat that went undiagnosed. Her mom just treated it with whatever was around the house, I guess.
Yeah.
And what ended up happening is that strep virus wreaked havoc on her kidneys. By the time she was 18, she needed a transplant. Her sister gave her a transplant. Transplanted organs don't last forever because your body notices a foreign object inside and wants to kill the foreign object.
How long did they typically last?
Oh my goodness. Nowadays, I'm going to just ballpark this 20 to 30 years.
Okay.
But prior to that, 10 to 20, maybe, this kidney had lasted a good amount of time.
Okay.
And in my early 20s, she needed a new kidney. So for whatever reason, whatever freaky, weird reason, we were a perfect match, she and I. So I donated a kidney to her. And my experience in the hospital was really awful. Like the nurses I had were just not great. They had really poor bedside manner, weren't knowledgeable with me in my condition, right? Being a healthy, normal person that just had a big surgery to remove an organ, without purpose outside of donation. So I decided from that point forward, I wanted to become a nurse. And at the time I was living in Dallas, I was working in property management, managing high-rise condo type places.
Cool.
I moved back to Bryan College Station, went to Blenn's nursing school. My mom was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer some point along the way, and she died at the end of nursing school for me.
Oh, wow. How long was it from when she got diagnosed to when she passed away?
She was diagnosed, I want to say it was January, and she died in December. So she was diagnosed in January, had a massive surgery to remove the cancer that was there, chemo, the whole 9 yards.
Yep.
And she was cancer-free until August. And then it came back and it was back with a vengeance, nothing to do. So hospice.
Got it.
Yeah.
God, that's so hard, dude.
Yeah, it was a lot, girl. It was a lot, but you know, we all have stuff. Everybody goes through hard things this year, and this last year in particular. I know people have been through a nightmare of a life. And so what I've done since in nursing is I was in the emergency room for a few years. I loved trauma nursing. There were parts of the ER I don't love. It's
What
a
parts did you
really
not love?
Oh, what parts did I not love? Parts that I didn't love were honestly just people that utilize it as their PCP because they're under served in other areas and they don't have the community resources to access what they need to be able to take care of themselves.
Yeah.
And it's a much bigger issue than me just like, oh, you shouldn't be here. I don't feel that way. I feel like as a whole, medicine for the community is really broken.
Yeah.
But in the ER in particular, girl, it's fun. It's a mess.
What's like the wildest thing that like came in? Give me a couple.
Okay. I don't know if these are the wildest, but here's an example. I was in the triage area and there was a guy that came in from Navasota, Texas.
Yes.
So that should tell you everything.
Nasty soda, as we called it in high school.
He had something stuck in his rectum.
Oh.
Come to find out, it was a regulation-sized baseball.
Oh, is this regulation size or what?
Regulation-sized baseball. Fortunately, he tells us that he was able to remove the first one. So he had two in there, two regulation-sized baseballs up his rectum. You like that? You're welcome. Turns out your rectum's not a closed cavity, folks, just for the kids at home, not a closed cavity. So what you put up there, if you don't have a string or something tied to it, it's going to travel if you keep putting other things in there.
You guys, put a string on it.
Put a string on your baseball.
Away from this episode, put a string on it before you put it in your butt. Continue.
Obviously. So he had to surgically have that baseball removed. So there's that.
So when we're saying like he had to surgically have it removed, did they like cut his anus?
They didn't have to cut the anus because the anus was able to be stretched to that.
Oh, the anus had some experience.
Yeah, you could tell he worked up to the baseball.
You can't just baseball at day one, guys.
You shouldn't baseball at day one. You should not.
I don't think you can. Well, I'm not going to challenge anyone here. That's not a challenge.
Don't baseball at day one. If I can teach you anything, kids at home, don't baseball at day one.
Oh my God. What was this dude like? Like, what was his personality? Was he ashamed when he came in, or was he like, yeah, casual Tuesday?
Quiet. He was honest. Just quiet, like, yeah, there's something stuck. Well, sir, what is it? It's a baseball. Where is it?
He just looked at it versus saying, look back at it. Back at it.
I mean, he had like the dirty work boots, like the faded glory style jeans.
Yeah.
And like the work tee. Honestly, dressed a little bit like my dad.
Love a working man with a baseball in his ass. Love that. Love that for us.
Find it everywhere.
Oh my God. And this was in College Station?
Bryan.
Right. So Bryan College Station is where Jess and I grew up.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Just for anyone who doesn't know, it's kind of like one of those, there's such small little cities. City is actually like a crazy word, maybe towns that they combine them.
It has grown though. So I'm wondering
That's
maybe
true.
maybe it is city now. I thought when we were growing up, it was very much more a town.
Yeah, where there was a college, and when those college kids would leave, it was like a ghost town.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh my God. So, okay, so you were an ER nurse for a
Mhm.
while. Any other
Left the
crazy
ER.
stories you
Oh,
want to
crazy
share?
stories. Sure. Um, so obviously, like I've seen my fair share of trauma, and
Yeah.
that is what it is. I mean, broken bones and whatnot. I mean,
Look,
I've seen a lot of really intense, and I'm not going to give you the descriptions there, obviously, because
look
your gag
you.
reflex just kicked in, and I'm not interested in that. So, okay.
All right, Jess is not
So,
interested in my gag reflex.
when I was in nursing school, actually, I worked in the ER as a registration representative. So I just worked the front desk.
Okay.
I was in nursing school so I could make money and also go to school. And I went into this patient's room and it was my job to like collect their information, get their insurance for billing purposes, whatever. And there was this guy and he was so cute. I'm talking like real cute. And I'm over here like, so what's your insurance?
Dropping your panties at the same time.
Okay. And I'm not paying attention to the fact that like I can't see his hands, right? They're under the bed or like under the covers.
Okay.
So I go and I do a couple things and I come back and there's a guard outside of his room. Oh, he's an inmate. And I'm like, of course he's an inmate. Like I have terrible taste in men. Obviously he would be an inmate. So I can't help but to be curious, right? And it's public record what people have done. And I have his name, right? So I look him up and I'm like, maybe it's like tax evasion. He
Oh my
bashed his
God.
girlfriend's head in with a coffee cup.
Oh
Look at
my
him.
God.
Look at this.
He How did the
So
coffee
that's what I'm into.
How did the coffee cup not break?
I don't
mean,
know.
I'm
The
sure
hell
it
of a
broke
coffee cup.
as well, but did he like continuously bash it, or was it just one good,
Well,
here's some coffee?
I don't know. All I know is he's an inmate. And the reason he was in the ER was because he was trying to get it on with his mattress and the base of his bed. He was on the top bunk. His penis got caught. He fell off and he was hanging by his own penis at the top bunk of a bunk bed in a prison. So his penis was broken. You can break your penis. Also, children listening to the podcast, you can break your own penis. It can happen.
Oh,
Pop that sucker back in place.
you pop it back in place?
Kind of, yeah. You got to pop. There's a way. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So you were like with one of those toys of like, pop it, spin it, turn it.
Yeah. Same thing. Flick it.
Flick it. Yeah. Okay, hold on just a second because I have to start the second recording.
Okay.
2 seconds. I can only do 30 minutes at a time. Oh my God, that is wild.
Can you believe that?
Oh my God, that is wild. That is so, he's like a modern day Rapunzel, like holding on.
Oh, he is. With his penis. I like how this is his penis to me.
Like, it's a little to the right now. Just had a mild incident with my bed. Like I've heard of guys' dicks being
So cute.
broken, but never from a bed. It's like the girl was on top and came down wrong and broke.
That does happen.
Dick.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah.
oh my God, that's crazy. Okay, I have some questions about myself. What was I like in high school?
Okay, my memory of you always that you were funny.
Yeah.
Like you have naturally been funny. It's never in my memory something you've had to work for. And it's so authentic. And it's the kind of funny that makes me like actually pee my pants. You know, like that kind of laughter that you can't it's just super authentic and it just comes from the deep parts of you. I love it.
Comes from your clitoris.
It comes from your ritorous, as
Your
Sophie would say, your ritorous. So can I tell a story
Of
about us
course.
growing up? Does that work? Okay. I have a memory of being at your house growing up. I'm going to say maybe this was junior high, and your parents had a bird.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So they had this bird. It was in a cage, and I believe it was a gift from one of your dad's clients.
Okay.
Maybe. I don't know. That's in my mind, that's what it is.
Interesting.
So we decided we were going to train the bird. So smart. It's summertime in College Station, Texas. Time to train the bird. So we get the bird out and we're in your room and we teach the bird to fly back between us. And it did it. It was such a smart bird. We were such good bird trainers. So we're like elevated to the living room, all the way across the living room. This bird flies back and forth to us. We are so good at this, but this isn't like a big enough space. We need a larger training area. So we went to the front yard. And I think the bird maybe once or twice flew from me to you or you to me. And then the bird flew away. And I just remember like we were chasing it down your street and just watching this like neon colored bird get smaller and smaller into the distance. You were grounded. I was grounded. I know that your parents at the end of that night, after like their kids went to bed, they were like, what the fuck? They had to have been like, what the fuck is wrong with these kids?
But first of all,
Are they so stupid?
What kind of client gives someone a bird?
That's my memory. I don't know. But also like Bryan College Station. So, you know, you get birds
for your business. Here's a bird. What? Also, how did we train it to go back and forth between us?
We were really talented.
Like, is there a word that we said, or one of us would have a treat and the other one would have a treat? Like, what was our...
I don't know.
And also, why did we get grounded? That sounds crazy. We freed an animal.
We lost a precious gift.
Did it?
To the foster family.
So, like, clearly my parents grounded me. How did you get grounded?
Probably for disobeying or talking back or the look on my face. Let's be real.
But like my parents grounded you?
No, I'm pretty sure they just like relayed the message. Like, this is what happened.
Oh my God, Joe
Lay
and
down the
Loretta,
law.
what narcs?
Narcs, that's right.
Ground your own children.
Way to go, Joe and Loretta.
God.
Look at me now.
You grounded an
birds.
essential worker. God, so unpatriotic. My God.
So I remember that about you. I remember you being a really good dancer, like at like homecoming and such.
What?
I feel like homecoming, Sadie Hawkins, like you could like break it the hell down to some like Nelly.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, what was it? Nelly and Kelly? They did a song together. Do you?
I remember I was super obsessed with Nelly.
I remember that about you also. And we're not talking Nelly Furtado. We're talking Band-Aid people.
We're talking Band-Aid, below the eye, Nelly. If you don't know that reference, you are too young to be listening to this podcast.
Just go ahead and hit the escape button.
Lick that off. What do you think is the biggest thing that's changed about me from high school to now?
Yeah, you, in my opinion, for whatever it's worth, right? It's worth jack shit because it's my opinion. You should like everybody, whatever. Everybody feels the way they do about themselves. Other people's opinion isn't your business, but I will share with you mine, which is you to me seem so much more true to yourself and you look so much more comfortable in your own skin than you did when we were growing up, which I think is everybody's wish and hope because we're always like constantly evolving and changing.
Yeah.
High school, especially the high school we went to, was a bitch.
Yeah.
And if you were not blonde and hey girl, I'm looking at you, blonde, tan, that Britney Spears and the Dirty video, that's what I think of as like what my goal was in high school of like, that's the top tier. Like that's how you should look as a girl is Britney Spears and not the Dirty video, but the Slave for You video.
Yes. Yes.
That was it. That was the end all be all right there. And it may not have been that way for everybody, but I feel like we all were trying to dye our hair. We were all trying to tan our skin
Yeah.
and seeking approval from dudes that were just kind of douchebags. And it was a little bit frowned upon to date outside of your race.
A little bit.
A lot of it. I
I
felt
saw one girl in high school, her parents like, I mean, she was Mormon, so I think that's like extra, but her parents like disowned her until she like broke him off for roles.
yes. Yeah.
Oh my
Yeah. There was some
God.
stuff
Frowned upon.
frowned upon.
Yeah, like masturbating in an airplane, frowned upon. Like
Jerking off into a
frowned
plant.
upon. Yeah, we went to a racist ass high school. And the
Mhm.
other thing that I remember, like, the girls were horrible to each other
Yes.
in the way that after the Mean Girls movie came out, two
Mhm.
girls made a burn book of their own.
Yeah.
As
Yeah.
if they didn't see the end of the movie where that girl gets hit by a truck or a train or a bus or some shit. Like, what? And it
Yeah.
was a hateful book. It was like, mine wasn't that bad, but it like really hurt my feelings at the time. It said something like, I smelled, and I was like, "Oh, that's not nice." But like, they were like people who had, parents that were wild. They were like, where even is your house? And it just was like
Mhm.
next level
Yeah.
terrible.
Our school was also very money centered. And
Yeah.
so it meant a lot for you to have money.
Yep.
And I did not have money growing up. My parents worked so hard and eventually they started making good money. But when I was growing up, I didn't. That was always something I was so fearful of that I would be like found out,
Yeah.
which is such a strange, weird responsibility or
Yeah.
fear for a child to carry because we were children.
Yeah.
And yeah, that just that I would be found out that we didn't live in Nantucket, which is a nicer neighborhood in the town that we grew up in.
Yeah. Yeah. It was, I do remember always feeling like I didn't have enough and I needed to like spend all of my money on
Mhm.
one Abercrombie shirt so that it looked like that we did like we were like bananas rich. Like my
Mhm.
parents did well by the time I got up to high school, but like I even remember when they talked about when we were like little that as a celebration we would buy name brand Coke.
Yeah. Yeah.
That meant it was a big deal. So I don't know, like there's part of me that, yes, I hate that our high school was so money centric, but I am glad that I have the personal experience of with and without.
Yes.
Um, I feel like it's made me a lot more generous and a lot more understanding and like a lot more grateful.
Certainly. Absolutely. I can second all of those things. It's I carried a lot of shame for a long time about what I had or didn't have.
Yeah.
And it took a lot of years for me to step out of that and start maybe paying more attention to me and who I actually am versus
Yep.
what skirt or shirt I was wearing to feel like I was a part of whatever circle I was in. And that was even years after high school. That mentality stayed with me. I think that it truly, for me, not necessarily on all the material levels, but my life didn't start taking a shift or didn't make a shift until my mom died.
Really?
Uh, yeah, when my mom died, I was, your world kind of flips upside down when something happens that shouldn't happen. And I just started selling like everything I owned.
Hmm.
I didn't think I was grieving until I looked around my living room and it was empty because I
You're
literally sold all my living room furniture. I started traveling. I started
yeah.
traveling the entire world. I used whatever vacation I had. I went to Thailand. I went to Hawaii. I just went to all these different places because I just needed to see that life was not as small and fucked up
Yeah.
as it was where I lived and grew up. And I learned that, yeah, life is very fucked up in other ways and other places. But it allowed me the perspective to step back and go, I'm not beholden to any of this bullshit that
Yeah.
I felt so much obligation to when I was growing up.
Yeah.
And it also allowed me to stop seeking, I don't know, as much approval from men or boys.
Yeah.
I like high school for me, after I broke up with that boyfriend, the pregnancy test on the dryer boyfriend. Um, I went on, I don't want to say I went off the deep end, but I mean, I started partying a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I drank a shit ton. I had a lot of inappropriate sex or sexual experiences. Um, and I was so lost. I was so confused.
Yeah. I
Tried
felt like
to,
that after I got divorced.
yeah.
And I moved to San Francisco, and that is just a different ball game.
Mhm. Yeah.
And
Imagine so.
yeah, I mean, it was like the first time that, I mean, of course I smoked weed, but I lived in Boulder, Colorado. My God. Um, but yeah, it was all of the other drugs that were available. It was drinking. I mean, it just felt like for the first 6 months, I was on this extended vacation and there was always something to do. So you
Mhm.
were constantly just like going out, meeting new people. I was like, I'm single. I've been with the same man for 8 years.
Gosh.
I like when I got married, I had only had sex with my husband because we started dating my freshman year of college. And I mean, there was so much shame around sex where we grew up
Are you
that I am
kidding?
still dealing with it. And I would say
Yeah.
like I am a sexual person, and fighting those two things has been so hard for me my entire life.
Yeah, most certainly. We grew up in a place where the purity ring was like the goal, right?
My
Wear
God.
your purity ring, FFA, whatever Christian based group that you can become a part of.
Young laugh.
Young life. If it's my memory serves, like you went deep into the young life,
Oh, sure.
right?
Sure did.
Yeah.
Deep, like took a dive, and it was a deep pool and I could not find the bottom, although I tried.
If I'm not wrong, around the time that you were deep diving into Young Life is around the time that our friendship, we didn't have a falling out. It was nothing like that, but there was definitely like a drift.
Yeah.
And you did a deep dive there, which I dare say maybe was healthier, also maybe wasn't.
Eh,
I did a deep dive into promiscuity, alcohol, and I don't want to say like promiscuity, like I was just having sex with all kinds of men. I mean, it wasn't like that, but
they were all attractive.
oh, yeah. I just, I was just lost. I was
Yeah.
so lost. And it's like we all were. None of us, to just be who you were, for me at least, never felt like an option.
No, especially like as a woman. It
Mhm.
was, you're supposed to be in these long-term relationships and
Yeah.
get married and have kids, and like that's the thing. And like me and you, I mean, the thing I remember about you in high school is you suffered no fools.
Yeah.
Like you would not take shit from anyone, and you were nice, but you had a line, and if someone crossed it, like
Yeah.
damn. You are gonna get aired in a minute. Like, so both of us, I mean, like, I felt like there was just like pockets of people I could be my like inappropriate, funny self
Mhm.
around. And everyone else, I was just like, oh my God, the boys are here. I want them to like me.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah, I absolutely relate to that and agree. Yeah, I was so centered on Am I receiving approval from the people around me? Am I being like likable enough for them or funny enough? Am I still be like, and I didn't know what it was like to be true to myself, but I had so much self-loathing.
Yeah.
My boobs showed up all of a sudden, like my junior year of high school. They went from like, I don't know, A's or B's to D's.
Yeah.
I didn't know how to dress my body. I remember because I used comedy like a little bit, like a lot of people do as a defense mechanism with
Yeah.
something I was comfortable with. I remember getting my senior pictures taken, and it was a guy who was going to take the pictures, and I had this little outfit that I bought at Post Oak Mall.
Yo,
And
shout out.
I thought I looked so cute. It was supposed to kind of look like a Britney Spears look that I had seen, you know? And I told him, I'm like, so like, just don't make this look too like American Girl movie. Not American Girl. What's the movie? American, whatever. It won Best Picture 1 year.
Oh, American Beauty.
Beauty, thank you. American Girl. I'm furthest from that. So I was like, just don't make this look too American Beauty-ish. And he's like, and there's like rose petals everywhere, which is why I said this. We got my senior pictures back. And this is how unaware I was of how to dress my body and how to wear things with these huge boobs.
Yeah, I feel
It
that.
was just all boob. It was cleavage. It was just, here is a display of my boobs in different positions.
Yeah.
And this dude took these pictures of me as a 17-year-old. My senior yearbook picture, if you have a yearbook, I don't have a senior yearbook.
I don't know if I do.
It's there. My boob is there. They are there to graduate.
Jessica and the twins. All three graduated.
Yeah, but that's where I was. I thought that like I needed to show my boobs, but not too much. That I didn't know how to do it because I was so unaware and scared. And now me and my boobs will be forever memorialized and are
And
Lord.
in the A&M Consolidated High School yearbook. Oh my God. This is so fun catching up. Okay, we're nearing time, but I always like to wrap with some of the same questions.
Hey, what you got?
The first one is, when is the last time you shit your pants?
The last time I shit my pants?
Uh-huh.
Okay. So, I need to think about it because I thought to myself, have I shit my pants before? And I have shit my pants.
You have.
When I was living in Dallas, Texas, and a friend of mine that really wasn't that close to me, I think he kind of always wanted to hook up with me, but it never happened.
Not after this.
So he came to visit me in Dallas, and we went out on the town and just drank a shit ton.
As you do in Dallas.
Oh, and I was just hammered, and I was driving because fucking idiot, you know. Also early 20s. I think maybe I was 21 or 22, whatever. So the night progresses and we're all just obliterated. And I go to drop them off at his hotel, and I needed to like fart. And so I was just like, I'll just do it. The music is so loud. And I did. And there was a smell that hit. And I'm like, oh my God, like that can't be it.
That cannot be.
I was so drunk that like my senses weren't totally intact. And so I straight up like put my hands and I was like,
you went in for a dive with your own hand?
I was very drunk, and it was the hand furthest from my passengers. Okay? This was the way I was thinking at the time. I can't believe I'm freaking telling, whatever. So I did this, and I can't, and like my hand was, it was like liquidy, you know.
How
it wasn't a great amount.
Put your hand in your own shit.
I'm gonna say probably to like this.
Oh my God!
Like into the
palm.
I'm talking into the back of my jeans, right?
Okay.
So not like into.
Okay.
I went this part of the back of my jeans straight into the center though. So you're like, oh, there it is. And it was wet. And I was like, why is it wet back here? And I realized it's because maybe it was a shart, maybe it was a shit. We'll never know. But I straight up like grabbed, I don't know what, that wasn't mine. Like a feral animal.
Oh my God.
And I set it back down, and that piece of material went with them.
Oh.
I think it maybe was a scarf of somebody's that maybe was in the back seat. I don't know. I'm sorry.
Just a heads up, you should not be a criminal. That's leaving your DNA behind. You could get caught. That is wild and I love it. What are three things you're grateful for right now?
I am grateful for, let's see. I'm grateful for being in my 30s.
Yeah, samesies.
Girl, my 20s were a shit show. I had a good time, but I don't want to relive that ever again.
No. Can we all let go of the saying you have the best time in your 20s?
And you sure don't.
You do not.
Sure
You are a
don't.
mess. You are anxious. You don't know who you are, and so you don't know how to behave. If you're going through your 20s, like, bless you.
Good luck to you.
Yeah, try to make it out alive. That's
I'll
the
be here drinking the
goal.
good wine.
Yeah.
So, being in my 30s, I am thankful that I have a job
Yeah.
because this last year has been, again, for I'm not saying anything nobody else doesn't already know, but it's been insane. And it's almost like whatever casing was holding everybody's shit together came apart. And
Yeah.
so not only is there the pandemic, not only is there economic crisis, not only is a horrible president in office, not only are all of these horrible things happening to people of any color,
Yeah.
but especially that are brown, especially people that are Black.
Yeah.
Not only are all those things happening, but it's almost like everybody else's personal brokenness found its way out into the world. And so it seems like everybody is struggling independently. So I'm very thankful that I have a job. And I don't know, it's been a hard year, girl. I'm not even going to lie. Like, I'm not going to try to like sugarcoat it. It's been really challenging, but I'm thankful that I'm here. And I'm thankful that and I don't mean to be cliche and be like, oh, my health, but no, really, like, I'm thankful that I'm okay. You know what I am really thankful for, though? I am thankful that Donald Trump will not be our president for the next 4 years. I'm thankful that I will be able to tell my daughter when she's old enough to really understand what it meant for Joe Biden and Kamala Harris to come into office.
Yeah.
I'm thankful that I saw a picture of Vogue's new cover for their magazine coming up, and Kamala Harris is on the front cover wearing her Converse and her beautiful suit and introducing a new America. That is what I'm thankful for.
Yeah. Same. Okay. What's the best advice you've ever been given?
I was told once, and this is a quote from somebody somewhere, traveling is a fool's paradise. It's great advice because oftentimes we travel, right, to get away from our shit.
Mm-hmm.
And I still travel to get away from my shit. But I try to heed that advice in some way, recognizing that I can travel to help me gain perspective, but it's never going to fix anything of mine, any broken piece of me, to take that broken piece of me to a different geographical location.
Yeah.
I'll have new distractions for a while, but eventually I'm going to be sitting by myself somewhere and I'm going to have to still deal with my shit.
Yeah. You're still going to face your shadows at any geographical location. By the way, I'm pretty sure I said that, so you can quote me.
Oh, that's cute for you.
That's cute for me. What's one thing most people don't know about you?
I don't know. What's one thing most people don't know about me? I am really fucking good at board games.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I rarely lose.
Oh my God.
And I mean like any board game.
Any board game.
Any board game.
So like what about I've been playing Scrabble lately.
I mean, I don't know, girl. We have to
Every game.
I'd probably beat you.
I don't doubt that. Okay, last question. Why am I single?
Oh. Girl, there's a million reasons, and there's going to always be a million reasons for every position you're in life. So, in my opinion, why are you single? You're single because you want to be single. That's why I think you're single. Because you could be with somebody. It may not be somebody you like. It may
Yeah.
not be somebody you want to be married to. It may not be somebody you want to retire with or like be arthritic with,
Yeah.
but you're single right now because you want to be single.
Yeah. That's fair.
Otherwise, you would have somebody with you. You would find them however you want to find them.
Truth. All right, Jess, I love you so much, and I'm so glad we can do this. Any plugs you want to make for your friends that like make stuff, sell stuff, or any last words for the people?
For the people, I don't know that I have any good plugs right now. I'll message you and you can whatever with that. If I think of anything, words for the people. Yeah, just be who the hell you want to be.
Yeah.
And also wear your fucking mask.
Wear your mask. All right,
Mhm.
Jess. I love, love, love you. Thank you
Love you
so
too.
much for making the time to do this.
You're welcome.